Earth 2020. Society is in ruins, and a virus runs rampant among the world's humble citizens. They are lost. In these dark times, three wayward nerds cross paths at the House of India and realize they are destined to be friends. And so they did. This is their story. The story of the Side Quest.
Boom, 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 boom. Welcome tonight to the election special of the Side Quest podcast. Tonight's hosts are Matt Lidikin,
BJ. We're not doing this.
And we're going to get into all the juicy details with Luke Blackwood, who's going to be covering every juicy detail. Just kidding. We're not going to talk about this.
This just in. Did you know Trump's... No, I'm kidding.
We're not getting into it.
No, we're not that type of podcast.
And also, we know that most people aren't those kind of people that want to hear it.
It's like you have to hear it every day at work or on the news or when you open Twitter or wherever. So you want some semblance of...
And,
let me get away
and
from
the difference between them is we have personalities.
That is true.
Outside of that. And
That's
our
true.
own...
And we know our votes don't matter.
Absolutely. No, yeah, I did. Did everybody here vote or?
Nope.
They didn't vote. You guys did, I presume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to talk about what I've been doing.
Go ahead.
This might shock you. BJ knows. I have been playing the fuck out of the Monster Hunter Wilds.
Yeah, isn't it crazy how we'll tell Matt to play a game and he'll never touch it and forget about it? But
Hold on,
as soon as somebody on the Discord says,
let's go through this.
Advance Wars.
I played it.
After you forgot about it and rediscovered it on your own and then texted us like, hey, have you guys heard about Advance Wars?
Okay, well, to be fair, I only could play it once I got the Ambernick. I mean, I could have gotten it wrong, but that's hard for me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I did play it. Okay, give me another one. Or you're just salty about that.
Yakuza 0.
Finish that.
Because me and Carmen had to hound you.
It was done. It's like, okay, also Burger hounded the fuck out of me.
Granted,
for a day?
No, he's been talking about it.
We did it for a Let's Play, but we were telling you would like Metal Gear Rising.
And I loved it.
And yeah, and to be fair, we did get you to jump.
Yeah, and to be fair, Burger has been hounding all of us for about 3... He built the new PC
for Monster Hunter.
He literally was like, I didn't know if it was coming to console day one or if it was coming to PC day one. So he's like, I was either going to build a new PC or
buy a fucking PS5
or buy a PS5. Yeah. And I was like, Burger, you're insane. They moved. So he's married to a Japanese, his wife's Japanese. Mm-hmm. They moved their yearly trip to Japan
so you can play
for Monster Hunter.
Burger,
well, that makes sense because everybody in Japan would have been inside too.
Has been hounding me. So it's not like he like one day was like, come on, Matt, play. He's like, Matt, you gotta play. And I was like, I played it on PSP. I didn't like World, and I didn't like Rise. It was too grindy.
It's insane to me that you didn't like Rise.
Yeah, Rise was like the one that got me like more addicted than World and stuff.
Wait, no, I played World.
Rise was the one on the Switch that came later to Xbox.
Oh yeah, I never played Rise.
Okay,
I played World.
It's really fucking good.
Rise.
If you want to try it, get it on Switch or something.
I will probably play it. Do you have it?
Right.
I have it on Switch.
Rise is on modern console.
I'll try it. But I played World, and I was like, this is awful. I didn't know like any of the things because I also just picked it up by myself. And I didn't anyone to be like, this is like.
That's the problem with most Monster Hunter games.
I agree, and that's why I was like, I hated it. Rise, but then Burger has been hounding me. He's like, just pre-install it, just get to like do the beta, just like do that. Come on, man, please play with me because I've been playing with him for the last like 4 weeks on D&D. He won't fucking shut up about it, and so finally I was like. He's like, Matt, did you? Because I saw that he was online at like on Discord at 7 in the morning, and he was like, it doesn't come out till 9. I've been waiting, and
that sounds like.
And so finally, I got home
when it was coming out.
I got home because I got off Friday early. I got home. Everyone was on Discord. I was like, okay, I'll just download it. Did all that. The shaders took like 10 minutes. Like the game install was faster than loading all these shaders. And then, loaded in, and then I didn't understand anything, and I just picked a weapon that I thought was cool. And he was like, I don't know, that might be difficult for you. And I was like, what do you mean? It's just, you're just pressing buttons. And he's like, it's not like that. And I was like, see, this is why I hated Worlds. Is it's not just you grab a weapon and you just button mash. There's like combos. And I was like, it just drives me crazy that like, because there's no tutorials for it.
Yeah.
I would say Rise was better in that front, where it kind of like when you picked a weapon and it kind of was like, okay, we're gonna at least let you know, hey, like I'm pretty sure in Rise they straight up were like, this is for advanced level play.
At least with Hunting Horn, they show you the combos on screen on Rise, which was awesome.
This one, it kind of does, where it literally, it'll show on the corner like all the buttons you can press, and then if you press one, it'll then like show you the next
combo to go through. Yeah.
Yes, and so it's like
nice.
That was visible, which was helpful. Like if any of the fighting games like
did that,
yeah, I'd probably be decent at it. But instead, I'm just like getting my ass kicked.
Well, because you have
the real problem with the combo list in fighting games is it's like
it's an
arrow up, and then it says like K. And it's like, what the fuck button is K?
Well, yeah. Like for Street Fighter, I think that just means the kick button instead of pressing,
yeah, but that's
A
still
or X or Y.
Because some of them don't actually kick.
Yeah, it's like it's the what was it? Have you seen the charts for Tekken fighting stuff?
Yeah,
it's literally like a periodic table of elements, like of just like, okay, but this combo can go into this one, but if you cancel here, you go up to this one. It's sort of like C page whatever. And I'm like, fuck,
it's miserable. Carmen. So I did play a bit of Injustice. Carmen's
really good at Injustice.
She's really good at Injustice, and she doesn't know combos. She just
figures that shit out.
Yeah. I won't, like, no cap, not gonna lie, not gonna bullshit at all. I've never beaten her in Injustice. She always kicked my ass.
Injustice,
and I'll be like, pick another character, and she goes, fine, bet.
The last time I played Carmen, it was in 2.
Okay. Because the only character that I actually got good with was Red Hood, because I was like in my head like I'm Red Hood. Well, yeah, it's literally like it's my favorite character. I'm gonna learn his combos, learn how to play him. And then the last time I played Injustice 2 was I just like booted back up, just was like I need something to play, and I booted him back up, and I'm like, fuck, I forgot how to play. It took like 3 matches where I go, okay, back in the rhythm. Try to play any other character. I went, what the fuck does that button do? Like I had nothing.
So playing Rise was pretty good, and I thought I understood how to play the character just from looking at combos and stuff like that. And then Burger was like, we're gonna fight the Rydao, which is like in the beta the strongest monster that you can play in the beta. There's 4 main monsters that you can go against. There's like a big toad, a lion, this weird like sand. It's the person that's in the intro, that sand monster
sandworm thing.
Yeah, and then the Rydao. And Burger was like, I'm just going to only go against the Rydao because I want to just keep on doing the boss. And apparently you get a little plushie that as a charm for your sword if you beat the Rydao
in the demo.
In the beta. Yeah. Which is fun. And I was I was dying constantly, and Burger was like, it's okay, let's just run it again. And I just was like, and I felt like I wasn't doing a lot of damage. But there are these cool things called focus attacks where it's like you see wounds on animals, and then you hold it. For me, it's the shift key. But everyone else is like, I'm playing on controller, it's the best on controller, but he's like, if you're doing bow, which is what I picked,
mouse and
keyboard.
Yeah.
And so I was holding shift, and it holds up this circle, and you can like track things. And I have this one thing where I shoot arrows up into the sky, and then it rains down, and it has these like flares that are attached to him that I can then lock on and then fire like 5 arrows, and it homes in on him. Really cool. I wasn't doing any damage until one day I was like, Saturday, I was like, all right, let me look up like how to play bow, and I was doing it all wrong. It's like, if you want to do the most damage, you have to fire a flare arrow, and then the flare arrow lasts for 10 seconds, but all your attacks home, and they do double damage. I was like, okay. And then they're like, this is the combo that you need. And I was like, okay. And then I, playing again, and I would die less, and I like learned the combos and was doing a lot more damage, and that felt good. But it's like, it took me so much work
to get to that point.
And it was draining until I felt rewarded by actually like playing well.
Welcome to how it feels to play a Souls game.
But then I was like, I'm sad that I can't like do crafting and stuff like that. And he's like, yeah, crafting, this is like, that's where people get lost, like lose interest in the game, because you have to like defeat one monster like 20 times.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, then I might not play the full game, because the fact that I have to just grind one monster 20 times, and each like, monster fight is like, if it's If it's a larger monster, it can be. We got it down to 14 minutes on our last
I was gonna
time,
say, what was
which
the final
was
boss?
an insane time.
I'm not gonna lie, I did it for a couple of items in Rise. Like there were some things where I was like, I need to get that.
What was the final boss time length in World?
I never played World.
I feel like I remember World's final boss being like a minimum like 30 minutes.
Yeah, ours were normally, we got it down to 14 on our it was 8 when we finished. It was 8:50 and it closed at 9, and we got it. Me, Ezra, and Burger got in 14 minutes and 14 and something, and it was the fastest we'd done it. It was awesome. But then I was like, I can't believe you have to grind so much for this. And what was great about the beta is like you had like 1,500 of every single item. So like you never had to like
you have to grind. You could just kind of
never ran out of potions.
Yeah,
I didn't have to pick up potions. I would just refill potions in large explosive barrels. And I was like, this is great. He's like, yeah, it's not going to be like this. You're gonna have to like, if you're low on potions, you're gonna have to go out. And I was like, oh.
Yeah, I was saying that usually like the Capcom will release a demo where they'll give you a lot more shit. Even with like Resident Evil, you'll have like more ammo, more stuff. Where it's like, hey, this is how the game could feel. And you get like the general feel of it, like this is how the shooting works, as whatever works. And then the full game comes out and you go, all right, all that shit we gave you, none of that. Yeah. I'm glad you at least enjoyed it though, right?
I did. Again, it was better playing with people, and it was fun. I mean, like, because at the same time, Burger like knew that I wasn't into it, and he was kind of like holding my hand throughout the whole time. And then he would be like, "Oh man, you're doing such a good job," and I'd be like, "Really? Don't say that. Don't say that if you don't mean it." And
well, probably. I mean, because I remember my first Monster Hunter was either 3 or 4. Both of those were on the 3DS, right?
Yeah, mine was Generations.
Was either 3 or 4 Ultimate on the 3DS, and I played that one by myself because I wasn't playing with anybody else who had it, because no one I knew had it. So
those ones don't tell you dick about what's going on.
Yeah, and on the PSP I just button mashed and it worked fine.
Yeah, I honestly prefer, like, that's why I'm excited for that. I may have texted you this, but you see Freedom Wars is coming to modern consoles.
I did see that.
That's my favorite Monster Hunter.
They're trying to get Gravity Rush.
Yeah,
1 and 2 on PC now.
Yeah, Freedom Wars is like my favorite of that style, where it's like, here's your big monsters, and you have like, it's a lot slower paced action game, but it's not nearly as punishing and like strategic as Monster Hunter. It is more of a button masher.
Because again, I just thought Bo was cool because I don't know, we just went with Bo. But then he was like, you should try out like a beginner weapon is like the sword and shield, and I like opened up the menu system in Monster Hunter is god awful. It's so bad. But I finally found my way after like 3 sub menus to get to like attack list, and I looked at it and I was like, nope, this is too much. This is a beginner weapon. No, thank you. And it's like, pause 1.5 seconds after attack to do this. But if you don't, it's
that's not as egregious to me playing like Devil May Cry and Bayonetta, because that is part of their like. Because a lot of it is like
standard action game.
Really?
Yeah, I think
I can get into it because like
God of Chain has a lot of that.
Yeah,
God of War had a little bit of that.
God of War went more so like with kind of like they'll let you button mash, where like Devil May Cry you can beat it button mashing, but you'll look at your scores at every level and it's like D, C. It's like you're dog shit. And you're
unless
like,
you're V, and then button mashing.
Well, yeah, then button mashing works for
the only
V.
way.
Why?
Because you have 3 characters you're controlling.
Like the tiger or the Panthers to the Y button, or the melee button. The Griffin is for your gun button, and then V is the one you're walking around controlling them as, and you have to hit the final blow with it.
My V gameplay looks insane because he's just going.
Yeah, dude. No, it's so funny. Like you'll see like Nero, and it's like you can tell when I'm like waiting for a combo. Like, okay, now do it. V's is straight up just like fucking throwing shit at the wall. Yeah, but even in Metal Gear Rising it's the same, because you can have you press like attack like stop attack again. Like there's a lot of those. Like it's basically just a rhythm game, but the rhythm is whatever the fuck you want it to be.
I guess so. I'm just not like deep into those games to where it takes me a bit to figure it out. I've now beaten Metal Gear Rising 3 times.
Great game.
Loved it. The third time I was like getting A's and S's, and it was a lot easier, and like doing the perfect parries and dodges is like
that's kind of some of the best things like that. I think that's Monster Hunter kind of brings that action game mentality to an MMO kind of vibe, because like, yeah, you are grinding out what would be in an MMO, like, hey, we're just doing raids over and over again, or we're just doing this.
The two best bosses, though, in Rising, other than the infuriating attack sequence that the guy has with the shield on top of the building, which one's that guy? Sundowner. That's a great fight.
I still remember watching you do it, where you, like, shit that took, like, me a while, like, how the fuck do I get past this? And you just kind of did it.
And I was like, oh!
Yeah, I was like, oh shit. Oh.
Yeah. I will say, I wish I liked the Sam fight more. He's just really fucking hard.
I agree.
It's like, again, everything around it is the coolest fight. It's just the hardest one. But the one where you're inside the building,
you're fighting like
with the arms.
Yes,
where you're fighting
the second time that you fight her inside the building.
Oh yeah, the headquarters.
The headquarters. That's a great fight where you have to go through all the bosses.
Yeah, the gauntlet.
That's absolutely.
See, for me,
so fun.
Metal Gear Rising has one fatal flaw that makes it, like, it's still a super fun game, but it's like, if you want to just win the game, the way to, like, deflect is pushing up, like, if you're a controller, pushing up on the stick while blocking at the same time, or like attacking, you'll always block. And so the game turned into, wherever the enemy is, I'm just spamming the attack button and the circle over and over again.
To block, you have to do the correct angle.
That's what I'm saying. Wherever they're coming at you, yeah. But that's what I'm saying.
That's so much fun, because you're
that really comes into play in the monsoon fight where they have the like the smoke screen and he's jumping from all the angles.
That one's fun, except for the part where you have to wait like 30 seconds for him to jump up away, grab the helicopter, and you're like waiting there, and you're like, okay, yep, I'm gonna cut it to pieces. I get it. And you cut it to pieces, and you're like, just when do I get to fight you again? And you're waiting. It's like 2 minutes between rounds.
His fight was the worst,
him.
Because it wasn't like a skill issue of why it's going long. It's okay, I gotta wait because the game is making.
Oh yeah, he grabs a helicopter, he throws it at me. You're like, I know, but the part where you're in the smoke and you're deflecting,
that's just great.
That's fun.
Yeah, that's so much fun.
To me, like, the Sam fight's my favorite because of everything around it. The fight is hard, but I'm always for like a good rival battle. To me, should be hard.
Yeah, no, story wise and like cool wise, it's the best.
It's some of the best shit.
It's just hard.
I still like the Armstrong fight, but like of the fights,
that's the
Senator. The final. It's one where, because it's the most out of nowhere. Like, wait, who the fuck are you? But then it's like, the fight itself is fine.
It does make me a little sad that you only get to fight big monsters twice. The first boss and the last boss.
Yeah.
Kind of wish you got a little bit more of that.
That was one of my favorite things.
What was the name of in the very beginning that, like,
Metal Gear Ray?
Ray, yeah, that was a great fight.
It's one of my favorite things.
Yeah, and then I was like, he can throw a 100-ton piece of machinery. Yeah. What the fuck?
If you like Metal Gear Rising, you're gonna love Shadow Generations. I don't know how to explain it. It just feels like Metal Gear Rising.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. There's a vibe. That game also. Okay.
I told BJ that once you finish the game, I'll just hop on your.
I was gonna say, can't you just download it through the Steam Link thing, or is it?
He can.
I can technically borrow it, but we haven't set up the borrow thing between our accounts. Okay. So what I usually do is just log into his account and then play it. But the problem is, though, it always has his save data.
But the nice thing about this is it has multiple save slots
per both the games. So Generations and Shadow and Sonic.
I was telling you I want to do a let's play of it.
Do we want to do both Generations and Shadow?
Yeah, just definitely, because Sonic Generations is the best Sonic game.
That is true.
Not Adventure 2?
Adventure 2.
You played Adventure 2. You know it sucks.
I love Adventure 2.
I love it.
I do too, and it sucks.
And especially, I don't know why they don't add the snowboard riding in more games.
It's in Generations.
Really?
Yeah.
Because you play City Escape.
You play City Escape. Yeah, Generations literally just, hey, you like the best levels from every Sonic game? Here you go.
Yeah, and they have, I don't know, Adventure 2 has, like, again, I'm also, like, very...
kind of rose-tinted glasses for it, nostalgia, or...
Well, like, I've just played heavily that one. So I always liked all the grinding sections, and...
There's a lot of grinding in Generations.
Okay, cool.
I do think you like
Generations. And it's way better than in Adventure 2 because you actually lock onto the rails.
That is good. Instead of you going and you like miss it and then you just...
Yeah, and then you try to like jump off a rail to get to the one that you need to be on and you just fly off the stage.
Yeah, no, that was bullshit. I also think, and this I think just has to do with playing it not on the original console, but it's not great ported. Like
I mean, that's the case for both adventure games. The Dreamcast versions of those games are like stellar, but then when they ported them to GameCube and now
GameCube
to constant,
to me, I never saw issue with it. It was once I picked it up, I was like, this feels awful.
But there's also that whole thing where it's like when you're a kid, you don't understand if a game is bad. You think you're just bad. So you just play the game endlessly,
maybe
thinking that it's the best
I played
thing
the shit
ever.
out of Sonic Adventure.
Well, I'm
we as kids.
I'm in agreement. There's a lot of games that that if I played now, if it came out today and I played it now and it's the same game, I would probably be like, ugh. Like I'd still vibe with it maybe, but it definitely wouldn't be like as like beloved.
I think I'm gonna pick up a Retroid Pocket. Have you ever heard of those?
Yeah, we had because you got me one for Christmas or birthday.
No, it's like an Ambernick.
It's an emulator. Yeah, you bought me one. It was that red one, that red portable emulator thing you bought me once. Retroid,
but they're really good now, and they just came out with the 5.
Wait, no, the Retroid Pocket is that like super expensive Game Boy thing, right?
No, it looks like a PS a PS Vita kind of look. They're like everyone's saying it's like if you want to play like it can run GameCube games almost like 90% of them flawlessly, and you can run like 50% of this is also with upscaling, like half of PlayStation 2 games, but
that's why the Steam Deck is the best. You can play all your Steam games for the most part, and emulation is just perfect.
I still need to.
I've been playing so much shit. I bought a card.
I think I also like
the classic feel of a smaller screen,
smaller, like because it's the size. It's actually smaller than a light, but it has the same screen size because it's bezel-less. So it literally the screen is like not even like maybe like an 1/8 of an inch away from the edge, and it has an OLED. So it's like it's only like $200. So it's in my head. I'm like, I can finally play like SSX Tricky and Wind Waker and that Final Fantasy game. I forget. I always forget which one.
Crystal Chronicles.
Crystal Chronicles.
Yeah, not the good one, not the shitty remake they did that ruined it. Yeah. I need to get you to give me some emulation stuff for the Steam Deck because or at least like show me the process because like I want to get really into that. Cause
it's really easy.
There are games.
If
I
saw a Steam Deck for like 300 used on eBay, then maybe
you can get the basic one for $350 new.
Really?
Yeah. And which again, if you're just gonna get a new SD card anyway, yeah, that's the way to do it.
But don't you have to like load into the Windows mode to then open the emulator?
No, once you install it, you just add it to game mode, and then it's on the non-Steam tab on the gaming mode. You just flick over from your games, pick which emulator you want, and then find the game in that list.
Any app that isn't a Steam game will be there. So like I have Xbox Game Pass like cloud stuff on there, and that's where that is. Same with
Can you do remote play?
Yeah,
on Steam Deck.
And then you have obviously the shit where
I can do Steam Link.
Yeah.
So, Steam Link's okay.
Low key I tried
it would have to just be for a game that's controller like base game, obviously.
I did the PlayStation Remote Play on my PS5 with when I was playing Control because I have the Backbone controller for my phone. Yeah. It ran pretty well. Obviously, it's based on my
Diver on my phone using my Razer Kishi.
It's not bad. Like that tech isn't bad. It's definitely, at least where I live, it's not ideal.
Yeah.
And then like, I don't know. Part of me just doesn't really like especially like if I'm gonna get my own apartment and live alone, or like even with a roommate, I don't really need that because all my shit's just gonna be in my room. Like it's a cool tech, and for people who use it and find a need for it, cool. But like,
yeah. I mean, for me, it's such a small case use, and even at night, I'm like, I'm not trying to like play games before I go to bed. I'm trying to like watch some TikToks and then put on a Warhammer video and go to sleep.
I've been reading a lot with Witcher, which
dude, I listened to. So last night,
low key, I need to get this off. Geralt is one of my favorite protagonists in fiction. Like the way he just like moves.
Yeah.
Like both like in political situations and just regular. Dude's just a fucking like. Can't be bothered. He's the biggest hero of pay me.
He's like a person that always chooses intimidation, but
has a high charisma
score, and rarely uses it.
The few times he uses it is like, because sometimes you see it with Yennefer where she's like, oh, or like occasionally people will be like, oh, Geralt, and then
you see it a lot when he's like in the rooms with like kings and queens.
Well, I like, because I reread just because I wanted to. I saw the short film, like the first game where he beats the Striga, which they redo in Witcher 3. But like the first short story in The Last Wish, with King Foltest and his incest baby.
Oh yeah.
And I reread that again because I was like, because I watched the
fight. I just listened to last night the story, which was also in the series, is when he goes to the house for the Bruxa. The Bruxa, and that one was dope as hell. So and he's like throwing signs left and right.
Okay, you can attest to this, but I really like the 2 short story collections because they're just fun monster hunting and like shorter stories, whatever. Then once you get to the main story, Blood of Elves onward, it's still good, but I kind of start missing the Witcher adventures. You know what I mean? Because now it becomes Geralt and Ciri's story together. And I do like it.
Yes,
but I really kind of miss
that the short story doesn't have is actual like
plot and
no. I mean, well, yes, but what I care about more is actual like
character dynamics and
like things, like actual important things that could be if he loses, like
yeah.
Like what am I trying to say?
Like shit he cares about, because like obviously
it's like actually important things that being fight instead of him just like
another monster.
Instead of monster of the week. It's like actual.
I think some of the most badass moments come from his monster hunts, but yeah, a lot of the fights and things that happen later feel heavier because like, oh, he could lose Ciri
not the
or like
stocks,
whatever.
The
stakes.
Yeah,
stakes are higher.
Stakes are higher. Yes, yeah.
100%.
Fighting for actual stakes is like, that's where I'm like.
I also really like I've grown to really love Ciri as a character. Like I obviously liked her because of Wild Hunt, but like when she's kind of doing her own thing. And like she's on her, like seeing her fuck up, seeing her.
I feel so bad for her the first couple of books.
Well, this was it. Yeah,
Geralt doesn't know. So like nobody. Well, if we're talking about like day one getting Ciri, he finally gets back to her, and they run to each other. That was in the books they describe it so well. He's running, he's running out of like the forest, and she's running to him, and both of them they've all heard like the name, and she's like, I have to find Geralt of Rivia, and she's like, I don't even know what this dude looks like, and he's like, I have to find Ciri. I don't even know if she's dead. And they've never seen each other, and they both look at each other, and they both know, and you're like, and they just start running to each other, and he grabs her and like and you're like, oh my gosh, fate! Fate is like a crazy motherfucker.
I'm a big sucker for like the parent-child dynamic in a lot of media. Like that's why I love Last of Us 1 so much.
But the problem is like once he gets her back to Kaer Morgan, he has no clue what to do with her.
He's like,
none of the other Witchers do, and like and Trish is like, she's on her period. And they're like, we just gave her some rags. And she's like, oh my gosh.
I'm in the pet, what size pussy you wear?
Dude, and so, yeah, they don't know how to do anything. But she's like, and then, he's like minding his own business, training. And she's like, I want to learn. And so I can protect myself. So you don't always have to protect me. And he goes, that makes sense. But I don't think you could handle what I'm doing. And then she's like, please. And then she starts doing stuff. She gets better and better. And then it cuts to like a years later, and she's like killing it. And then Triss is like, she can't be here forever. She should become a witch and stay with me at like
the lodge.
At the witches. Yeah. And then Yennefer is like, no, like you cannot. I'm taking her.
Yeah.
And he's like, fine. And she's like, she'll be way more protective than you could ever do, which is so disrespectful. The way she belittles him like that is just a constant throughout the book.
It's one of those things that really bothers me, but like, again, reading the books and then playing the games, it is a thing where you're like, God, I fucking hate you, but like, Geralt and Yennefer are for each other forever.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
But like, there are moments where you're just like, fuck.
Yeah. But I was listening to it last night because I had a massive. So I was out of town in Knoxville.
That fucking sick ass burger joint.
I'm gonna like find him on like Instagram and maybe message him from our side quest account, because I bet the guy who owns it is like a cool dude, because the inside, so it's called Bit Burger, and I just saw like on their Google Maps page, like, because I was just, when I'm in a new place, I'm just trying to find like cool places to eat, and I saw this place and they had these like milkshakes that were absolutely insane, like where they like roll the brim in chocolate, and then on top of the chocolate they roll it in like different things like Oreo, you know, crushed up Oreos, or like blue. And they had a Cookie Monster one, which was like a blue milkshake with a cookie that had eyes on it that looked like, and I was like, these milkshakes are insane. Like, and then the burgers were looked absolutely phenomenal. We get over there, I didn't even like register Bit Burger, and I was like, oh, that's just what
like
they call
8-bit. Yeah.
And we go there and I see like all these arcade machines and all this stuff, and I'm looking on the walls, and they got Blade Runner, they got like everything.
Saw some OG Transformer shit too.
Yes,
like
they had all this stuff on the walls, and I was like, oh my gosh. And before even looking at a menu, I just was like, and so I would get to the front door, and I just told the register, and I told the girl working there, I was like, I just have to say, like, the vibes of this place, I'm in love with. And she's like, yeah, for sure. Like, also all the arcade machines are like free to play. And I was like, yes. So I played some Rampage.
Hell yeah.
Nice. Played some Metal Slug. They had one of these, like the arcade machines that just had
a bunch of shit on it,
like a billion things.
Like,
yes.
like absolutely.
But it was actually, it was big.
Yeah.
It was probably like a 35 to 40 inch screen. So it was a big screen that had the 2 players.
You can you can like build your own arcade machine with like a Raspberry Pi.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
super easy.
Super easy. Yeah,
I've low key wanted to so bad because I feel, but then like the thing that stops me is moving with that thing would be a nightmare. Maybe. Yeah. So I'm like, no.
I mean, not a nightmare. It's just like it's a big cabinet.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
But like a cabinet with a screen on it. And yeah.
So
I mean, if you build it correctly, you can always just take the screen out and then move the box.
And I mean, and again, if it's just a Raspberry Pi and a screen, and then like
just
a
get
power
a little
outlet.
get a little like dolly and just wheel it out.
Well, like if you make it hollow inside, then it's probably gonna be fine.
Oh,
like, yeah, you know what I mean. So yeah,
100%. But yeah, this place was so cool. The burgers were phenomenal. I got the Smash Bro.
Hell yeah.
Which was a Smash Patty. And all of their stuff was like named. The place was so sick. And they had 3 different TVs. One watching Sonic. Another one that had...
Sonic Says was the Hedgehog or the Sat AM? Yeah, the Adventures.
They had another one that was playing Power Rangers. And
OG.
another one that was playing Naruto. And I was like...
Hell yeah.
And it gave me... I mean, like, you know how we talk and dream together?
Yeah.
It gave me so many ideas of like...
We could do this. Yeah.
But to be fair, like, now with how we've like set up the podcast room, it feels more and more like that. And like, to be fair, all the stuff on the walls, they just had like black screws that they just, like for the action figures, they just screwed like one under the arm and one under the leg. And it was kind of ugly when you got up close to it. It was just screws into the wall, hanging everything. And I was like, at least like, but I liked that it was just so much stuff. But it gave me so much of like, if we had a place, I'd want it to be similar to like this, like definitely same vibes. And it, you know, it gave me these like, maybe we should just keep on adding more stuff, more shelves, more memory, you know, just like I would be so down with that. But to be fair, like now that we got skateboard, the posters, the shelf, Jinro, like all that, it's starting to come together. I mean, I think it's the best. I mean, obviously it's the best the room has looked, but it was really cool. It inspired me. But that night though, I had a severe panic attack.
Oh no!
I heard about that.
Yeah, it was really bad.
I came out here at midnight and Carmen was just sitting in front of the TV, not watching anything. I was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" She was like, "I need to stay up just in case Matt's panic attack gets worse."
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so it was really bad. Thought I was dying. And so I was like, she was like, "You should go to the emergency room." And I was like, "Do you think I should go to the emergency room because you think I'm dying? Or do you think..." And she's like, "No, because when you get there, they're going to tell you it's okay." And I was like, I do not need a $400 bill.
Yeah.
For someone to tell you you're fine.
Even though, like, insurance would cover... I mean, it'd probably me be paying, like, $200-300 for the bill of, like, $800.
Yeah.
I was like, I still don't need, like, a $300 bill. And I was like, if I do feel, like, something crazy going on in my chest, or, like, full on... my phone's connected to my computer. Like a full on, like if I'm feeling like actual numbness in my arms or like pain in my chest, not just pressure, like I'll call Jake and I'll tell him to drive me to the emergency room. But I was freaking the fuck out. To be fair, it could have been just so many things. I could have just been in my head and thought that one side of my body felt weird. But I was really struggling. But anyways, I tried listening to The Witcher, and I fell asleep listening to Last Wish.
Yeah, it's such a it's very interesting because like The Witcher has moments where I can tell it's a translation. It just based on like that was worded weird, but that's fine. But like the story's so fucking
I
good.
just explain it as it's like
it's old timey shit and like
it's old timey.
Yeah. Well, like there's definitely
it's like you're reading Beowulf.
Yeah.
And in like the translation of Beowulf, you're like, oh, it's just an old time story.
Dude, it's got me wondering like. So this is kind of similar to what I'll talk about with like Dragon Age in a bit, but like I was thinking about Lord of the Rings the other day and how timeless it is. I'm gonna talk about it. It got me thinking because I was thinking of the way characters are written in Dragon Age and like I looked at Witcher and other things, and then I looked at Lord of the Rings. I'm like, fucking Lord of the Rings is so fucking timeless. Like, it doesn't matter what era of world we are. It doesn't matter who reads it, whether it was the 40s when it came out, early 2000s now. It just fucking works. Like, Lord of the Rings is so fucking good.
Maybe because it's a story where all the main characters are dudes. Maybe that's why it's so good.
Probably. But, no, dude.
Yes.
Because I got... I finally bought...
I'm not afraid.
I finally bought all the Lord of the Rings books. I still need to get the Silmarillion and then one other like history book. But I think I want to read those soon.
If you're going to read the Silmarillion, you either have to...
audiobook it or...
Well, I was going to say they have chapter breakdowns on YouTube.
Nice. Because it's just...
they'll just say like... And then the... And you're like...
And then Blingelborg did the thing and you're like, what? Yeah, okay.
You have to read there's chapter because like seriously, this is if you talk to anybody they'll be like just listen to the chapter breakdowns. They're like 20 minutes.
Okay.
They break down every chapter for you.
So
you're like, oh, that makes sense. And the more you go, the less you need the chapter breakdown.
Okay, so you read a chapter, do a breakdown, and then you start going, I get it. Okay, got it.
Yeah, because they'll do this thing like where they'll start naming people and then they won't explain who the person is until later.
Oh, okay.
It's just I mean, it was him pretty much writing a poem that's a book.
Well, it's like writing the history of the world, but like
as
poetry.
A poem.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because like The Hobbit is
a kid's book.
Yeah, and then Lord of the Rings is like the high fantasy adventure. That like the people who because how long was it between Hobbit and the first chapter of Lord of the Rings? Was it a decent time frame or was it relatively soon? Like, did you write them pretty? Like,
wasn't it a couple of years?
Yeah, it was a couple of years, and then he wrote like all the books.
Because like I know it was the same thing with like Dune, where Dune is one book
between 1, 2, and 3. He just was like, "This is my story. I'm publishing 1. All right, now publishing 2."
Because it was the same thing with Dune. Dune was published in like volumes.
The real question is, when did he rewrite The Hobbit to fit with the new lore?
What do you mean the new lore?
Because he wrote The Hobbit, and then like the Fellowship came out, and everybody was like, "This is inconsistent with what happens in The Hobbit." And then he was like, "Well, actually, that version is what Bilbo said happened, and this one that I just wrote is what actually happened."
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
well, that's fair because he wrote The Hobbit as a kid's story. Then he's like, actually, this world has more to say. But then he probably was like, it's better if I do it this way instead of this. And then writing it that Bilbo's an unreliable narrator.
Yeah.
And then going, here's the actual version. Is there a way to read both versions, or is it?
You can find them.
Okay.
I just don't know what edition each one is.
Because I think it'd be really cool to try to read both versions and be like, oh, what are the differences, and like what's Bilbo being like? Look at this grand adventure I'm on versus like, so like this shit kind of sucked low key.
Yeah.
But
and also in the third movie, Bilbo passed out for the whole thing, and everybody had a really cool battle.
Dude, those movies were so like, it just needed to be one movie. And even then, I really didn't need a Hobbit movie. If
I still think Two Tops was good. Like,
yeah,
that third movie was
Yeah.
Hey, say what you will about the Hobbit trilogy.
This whole like in the movies they added a whole other faction, which was the dude with the white orc kind of dude.
Yeah.
That doesn't exist. It was a white wolf that chased the hobbits.
Say
no,
what
wargs. Sorry, white wargs.
Say what you will about.
Just know.
Say what you will about the Hobbit trilogy. We can trash it. We can do whatever. It's still not nearly as bad as the Fantastic Beasts, Harry Potter prequels. That's
true.
Tried to over-explain. Like
I liked one.
One like again.
One is like actually
fun.
Not bad,
It's
but then
fun.
you immediately are like, oh, that was actually good. Let me watch the second
Newt
one.
Scamander?
Newt Scamander.
I think
Again,
it's such a lovable character.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
the
he's
first
got
movie
the good kind of autism.
Yeah.
Well, as I'm saying, the first movie is what it just should have been. It's like it's a fun adventure in Harry Potter.
Not the
Done.
Josh Block.
We don't need.
And then they get to movie 3, and he's like, Dumbledore, I've got to sue you.
I make more than you. Josh, stop, Josh. Oh my gosh. So, well,
I'll get. I know because you don't want to talk about it much, but I'll get it out of the way.
I just think it looks awful.
I mean, yeah.
But Luke is an enjoyer of bad things.
That is true.
Historically.
For me, the thing that's mainly getting
here,
me,
this is all I'll say, and
Okay.
then I'll let you just run off and I'll ask you a question.
Yeah, good.
Is what I think it proves to the point of what you're saying. Is I said, because I've seen lots of reviews already, because I'm very interested in it. Because when like the whole Concord thing was happening,
Yeah.
I was like, I want to be able to form my own opinion, so I'm just gonna watch stuff about it. So I'm just not like regurgitating what people say, because I don't want to hear just like, oh, Asmongold is like this, and I'm like, I don't want to just be a mouth puppet for whatever
Like
a streamer
YouTuber,
says.
yeah.
Like that's not just who I am.
You want to get multiple things. Do your own like research, figure shit out yourself.
Dragon Age has been so all over.
Dude,
But what I said in the text is, after what I've seen, is the dialogue looks awful, and you were like, yeah, it is, but like I'm easy to please, and I was like, Luke, have higher standards.
Well, so I think the reason for that, and I'll get into like actual Dragon Age shit in a bit, but like. So, like, growing up, like, besides BJ, I had no other friends who cared about the shit that I cared about. Even, like, Juan and some other friends I've had, like, they, like, kind of like shit that I did, but it was still whatever. Like, no one I knew, besides, like, my best friend Jonathan, played Pokemon. No one else I knew watched anime at the time. Like, I was a big Final Fantasy fan, and,
that's
like,
what it's
that was
like
nothing.
growing up in Lepus Fork.
Yeah.
In the early 2000s.
And so, like, consistently it was like, oh, all the shit you like is dog shit. Which, in the grand scheme of things, growing up, it wasn't. It's just nobody, it was nerd shit. But, like, I don't know. I've kind of just gotten to the point where I'm like, if I have fun with it, I have fun with it. I don't care. I don't really care what anybody else thinks about it. If I'm having fun, I don't care. Like, that's kind of, that can be with anything. It's why I like Fast and Furious as much as I do. They're dog shit. I think that most of, I will give 7 because of the Paul Walkers and Tokyo Drift. The rest of them are, like, borderline, like, this is a shitty movie. But I had fun with them because I'm like, this is so stupid. I'm loving it. Dragon Age is kind of the same in the sense that, like, I've never minded, like, the Marvel dialogue that people like to hate on. I just don't like Marvel movies because they're boring. Like, the stories don't make sense, and, like, at this point, they're not aiming towards something like the first Infinity Saga did. And I'm just like, I also don't care about some of these characters. Like, I don't care about She-Hulk. I don't care about Miss Marvel.
You don't care about the Agatha TV show?
No, not at all.
But here's a point
I'll say this. The only reason I even was remotely interested, Aubrey Plaza, because she's deaf.
It made worse numbers than the Acolyte.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So,
no, dude.
Here's the thing, though.
I saw a tweet that was like, it was her in the death costume, and someone goes, Thanos was right. I was like, yeah.
Here's the thing that I like. One of the things that makes like getting into Game of Thrones hard is like they don't introduce characters. You just watch and you're like, you're gonna understand who all these people are, but they don't.
But
they don't explain it, and I like that.
Yeah,
you learn because you don't have characters going. Hello, my name's Jon Snow, the bastard son. My mom like really hates me because she like.
You get all that through natural dialogue.
It's the show don't tell.
And that is like one of the things was like Jedi Survivor. I hated all the exposition that was
the Jedi Survivor.
That was said. Yeah. I hate that. And I have seen. I mean, did you watch Donkey's video?
Yeah. Oh, it's so funny. It's so funny.
It's so funny. It's so bad though.
Yeah.
It's so bad that you don't have exposition. That's just...
The thing is, so you do, but not with the companions. With Solus the villain, with any of the faction quests, and with, like, lore, it's everything that I like in the show don't tell. But then anytime I talk to my teammates, it's, like, immediate trauma dumping that I'm like, okay, whatever. But, like already it's my favorite part of the game, like, story-wise. I'll get into the combat because I fucking love the combat. That's a me thing. But... So far, story-wise, like Solus, who was a companion... You played Inquisition, the bald elf.
Okay.
He's the villain. Because in the end of Inquisition, and in the DLC, he's like an ancient elven god who's been, like, walking the world, and now he's going to undo some shit he did. Like centuries before. Which is tear down the veil, let magic come back, and it's a whole thing. But, you fuck that up, 2 elven gods come out, and now Solus is pissed at you, but you can, like, fight... Like, it's like... it's like he's stuck in, like, your head, and you have like you will occasionally go and, like, talk to him, and you just get to talk shit to him or, like, converse with him, whatever you do. But that's been the best writing in the game so far, like by like the largest bit of, like,
and I hear that the combat's good, and
I mean, the combat is taking the God of War's style, which is already a good combat system, mixing in that Guardians of the Galaxy game of, like, you're playing as Peter Quill, and all of the Guardians are your special moves. It's like the same thing where it's like you're playing as this guy, all your companions are your movesets.
I just think, and I know you like it, and I'm not, like, mad at you for enjoying it.
No,
but, like, I want higher standards for games where it's not just good combat, but it's good dialogue and good story. Because we can name all the stories that do that well. I mean, if we're talking God of War...
in the RPG front alone, Cyberpunk, Baldur's Gate, even Dragon Age Origins, like, in its own series. Like, this is bar none the worst Bioware has done in, like, story-wise and dialogue. Even though, or at least in dialogue, I think the story's better than Mass Effect Andromeda, because that story was dog shit. The dialogue is the same. It's the same shit.
Like, because here's the thing. It's like if both things are... I'll even say that for me, dialogue might be even more important, or story, because there's games like Hades, where the story is just conversation way better, and it makes me want to get through combat that I'm not, like, familiar or good at.
Well,
because Dungeon Crawler's not good at. I've never liked him.
But you want to get another bottle of Ambrosia so you can see what the fuck is up with Thanatos.
Yes. So it's like that's to me it's like the backbone. Like if I had a friend that was just good at something, that's cool. But if I can't talk to them, then it's meaningless.
The thing that I will give
so that's where it's like it loses me on the, even though I'm not playing it.
Yeah.
It just loses me on these games where then it's very clear that they also have an agenda that's like in the game.
I will say this, for the first, like, 15 hours, I hadn't seen that agenda yet, because I hadn't taken in the companion who has that agenda.
The second you do, though.
Well, no, the second you do, again, they don't say shit until you do their companion quest, and then it becomes up, and you're like, oh, okay. And pretty much, I didn't.
No, because I've seen other dialogue where it's other people talking, and then they go like, it's them, and you're like,
well, I was saying, again, that's their companion quest. No one else says it unless you do their companion quest.
No, I've seen other, because I know the companion quest that you're talking about. Yes,
Kunar, yeah.
It's like NPCs and other stuff like that you'll run into.
Man, things must not be that serious. They must not have to be dealing with dragons and monsters and magic and shit that they have time to worry about if they're a man or not.
Yeah.
The problem with, that's another thing with the companion things, is every companion has a problem, right, where they have to deal with, and it's all based on, like, regrets and something they have to deal with. The problem is, I'm like, I want to, like, in Dragon Age Origins, the whole bit of Origins is like, hey, we have to stop the archdemon. And you can either do that by going, I'm going to be a heroic person, help everybody and build alliances, or by any means necessary, and you can be a borderline sociopath that will murder a whole village to get the power they need type shit. But Origins is so good on that front, whereas Veilguard, there's moments where I want to just be like, can you shut the fuck up and deal with this thing where, like, the Elven Gods? And instead they're like... But, like, some of the characters, it's understandable. Like, Balara has like a whole trauma of her brother dying and, like, her feeling like it's her fault. And, like, that character is written, like, well, in the sense of, like, because her whole bit is dealing with Elven.
Sorry. I found this random koozie.
Yeah.
And I read
it's the one you were using.
Yes, but yeah, I found it then I started using it. It says, in Catholicism, beer, tobacco, and Christ can all fit together. I'm like, hell yeah, brother! It's the Diocese of Nashville. I'm like, I don't even know where this is from. That's really funny.
Well, it says where it's from.
I mean, but how it
got here.
It came to me.
Fate.
There you go.
That's true. Well, these must be some cool Christians. Some cool Catholics.
Except for the fact that they are Catholic.
There you go.
That's true.
I was gonna say Catholic lore though can go crazy.
Have you guys seen the new Catholic mascot?
The anime girl? Yeah.
It looks like anime Coraline.
It's kind of.
I will say, it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
That we're getting anime mascots for things that you would never expect it to be.
You didn't think
it is when you think about it for a second, and then you think about it for 2 seconds, and then you're like, "Fuck, this is Blade Runner."
Yeah, we're getting into Blade Runner, cyberpunk, dystopian future territory.
But don't we kind of want that?
No.
Yeah.
You could have.
I can fix that.
You could have medical issues and have to pay $5 billion for a new liver or whatever, or we could just cremate you for $50.
Yeah.
Or we can go to a fixer and get some jobs to get some creds, choom.
So, so the option is die fighting or die from an illness.
Yeah.
That sucks. No happy endings.
Yeah.
I'm wet now.
I'll say the dialogue is the worst of Dragon Age, and I will say me personally, the combat is super fun. You've played God of War, right? You know the general
Yeah. It's
that
which has the incredible dialogue, incredible story,
fucking amazing story,
best writing.
Oh yeah, I think it's that and Ghost of Tsushima. I think are their best in Sony. I like Last of Us 2 and Last of Us 1.
You don't think Last of Us 1 is the best writing?
I think Ghost of Tsushima is my favorite of the Sony first party title.
That.
Yeah, it's personally my favorite.
It's on PC now.
It is. I'm waiting for it to go on sale before I play it again on PC because I think when I play it next, I want it to be on Steam Deck.
Speaking of sales, on Steam recently, they're having this weird
But wouldn't you say that the story of Last of Us is also the same as God of War? It's the dad that then starts to open up his heart more, and then
I think
starts to love.
For me though, God of War,
it's very similar.
100%. I think though for me is that I played all the old God of War games, so I had a kind of a familiarity with Kratos.
But when you look at it as all of God of War before that, it turns into The Last of Us. Because Kratos, daughter that died, new kid comes in, doesn't want to open his heart, does open his heart. Yeah. Everything's better then.
Yeah.
I will say, though,
it's the exact same story, just one's in a more realistic timeline and one is an actual god fighting.
Well, yeah, I guess there's probably the difference is I prefer the fantasy god element over the realism of Last of Us.
See, I prefer the realism.
Yeah.
I want to be hurt.
The
DJ feels that.
To be fair, God of War didn't make me cry. Both Last of Us did. So there's that.
True.
If you want to put that on the scale, I prefer God of War's combat and characters more than
I thought after going through spoiler alerts.
Last of Us 2 spoilers. The show's coming out soon.
Yeah.
Be warned.
After
go away.
Joel dies. I thought I can't be hurt again.
You damn right you did.
And then at the theater when
with Tommy.
No.
And with
not Tommy, the Asian guy.
Yeah, Jimmy.
With Jimmy out of nowhere, she just comes in and goes bah, and I go no.
Last of Us 2 is a game that I want to play again. I have to be in the right mindset because by the time I finish the game, credits rolling, credits rolled, I was sitting there just fuck.
I've played through those games so many times, and it's mostly just because I love the gameplay. It's as close to a stealth game as you can get in the modern day.
Two's stealth mechanics are some of the best.
Incredible.
I will say, I don't think I was ruined because I was just I'm just trying to get through the story. I don't think I was ruined by going in with the God
mode stuff.
Yeah, I don't think, especially I'd say more so with Ellie. More so with
Abby,
because Abby doesn't have a big explosive bow that you can get infinite things to build.
You can just one-shot everybody. But even then, when I was with Ellie and I'd see one dude by himself, I'm I'll just take him out with the bow. Like it's more the zombies that I'm like.
I will say the part of what made Last of Us 2 for me was the mixture of the tension of, because I didn't do any of the like cheats or whatever. I was just like, I'm just gonna play it as is.
Yeah.
And then
I was like, BJ's only gonna be here like every weekend. I just need to get through as much.
You had like a legit reason, yeah. Whereas for me, it was like the tension of the story mixed with the tension of the gameplay made like playing the game like an actual like I don't have panic attacks. Probably the closest I've been to having a panic attack where like my chest hurt. I was sitting there being like, and then you get from tense gameplay scenes to tense ass character moments where I'm just like sitting there with like my head like this, just be like fuck, come on, and then like
dude, there are parts in The Last of Us where I'll be hiding behind some cover, and then like two guys walk into a room and one will walk over to the desk that I'm sitting behind, and I'll real life hold my breath.
Yeah, dude, no, that to me is a really good sign of like tension.
I will say that happened more with the Dark Pictures games. For me,
yeah, those are really fun,
especially when they do the "don't move the controller" bit.
Set the controller, and you're like, just staring at the it was
so funny watching Matt finish Until Dawn.
Because we did really good. We only lost one person. It was the dumb blonde bitch.
We lost her earlier.
Was I here for the end of that, or was I here for which part was I here?
You were here for like the middle of it, because that part where the Asian girl is on her own.
Yeah.
It was like, we hate this character, just let her die. But then at the end where it's like just a gauntlet of don't move, don't breathe onto the mic, don't touch the controller, Matt would like be doing stuff and then he would drop it on the table. He would go like that. He would pick it back up.
To be fair, we did really good. And then I also fucking
you killed it on Man of Medan too.
We aced that game. I don't care what the fucking story. They should not punish me for perfect thing, everything. Because they did the like button press, wiggle, button press, time this, and I did all of it.
And
perfect.
Then one of your characters was just not in the game anymore. He got away.
He was
Iceman.
Iceman, yeah, it was Iceman. No, we should play Quarry because that's their bigger one.
That one I think we could all play together because it is multiplayer, so I could be on.
Quarry has a returning character from Until Dawn.
Oh, is it canon?
Yeah,
is it like
the studio said that it was them on Twitter. They moved and then changed their name.
They need to do like a Call of Cthulhu 1920s version of that.
They just put out. Well, it's obviously not the same. They just put out
get licensing from Call of Cthulhu.
That would actually be a really good one to do for with the sanity meter and stuff like that. Of course,
it would actually be very similar to Man of Medan, where you think you see things and you don't know what's real and what's not.
Call of Cthulhu should just make its own game series like that.
100%. I mean, the game is
doing an anthology series where each one is like some type of Cthulhu mythos set in different places. Here's whatever would actually be really good.
That'd be awesome, and then we could hit them up and be like, "Hey, Shadows from Jamestown, pretty sweet."
Yeah.
It's a fun. So speaking of a little bit of, I mean, you'll see where my segue comes from. But WeebMD just got to Nina in Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Oh my gosh!
And he was like, "I can't believe it." And I was like, "Yes." And he was like, "Fuhrer, he's a bad guy. I already know he's a bad guy." And I was like, "Yep." And but I can't wait for him to get to like Mustang shit and the 99th lab, or is it 9th lab? 9th lab. I can't for him to get to Isfal. Just all that whole Isfal arc where you learn about who's the other one? The other fire alchemist? Kimberly. Kimberly. Getting to Kimberly. And then getting up to the snow mountains.
My
favorite Sloth. That shit.
Is he watching or reading?
Watching.
Okay.
Because he watched it apparently 5 months ago and he wasn't into it, and I was like,
"How?
Some stuff it's right mind, right time, right place. It could be like mindset, different things. Something happened in real life that makes you whatever. Like there's different things. Like there's some stuff that I've been like, I don't fucking care. And then because honestly, like I can guarantee you right now, if I didn't watch Fifth Element with you guys, I probably would have turned it off midway through. Just be like,
we watched that last week.
I saw a bunch of people on TikTok after that was like, "Here's my Halloween costume," and it was either Lilu or just anything from that movie. Yeah. There was a lot of them this year.
Yeah.
There wasn't any like major just this is the costume this year, Because like every year you can always kind of pinpoint like for at least in the nerd.
I don't know.
In the
There's
nerd
been
space.
a lot of World of T-shirts this year.
Yeah.
Well, but when like Suicide Squad came out, despite the movie being terrible, every bitch was Harley Quinn. Like
There's
I'm
been
cool
so
with
many
that.
Deadpool.
that's fair. Well, to be fair, there's so many Deadpool everywhere you go that's nerd shit though.
But this year though, you see
I guess,
whole
yeah.
families dressing
Fair.
up as
like
the Deadpool.
The Deadpool, yeah, fair, okay,
Yeah.
Because I feel like just because I keep seeing like
Ryan
Comic-Con
Reynolds
shit,
just put out like an Instagram post that was just
different costumes,
slides
yeah.
of a fan costume.
I like. And who knows? I don't know how an actor actually is like in real life, but like he seems like such a nice dude, despite how much shit talk he does for everything. That like clearly likes this
I've
character
heard
he's playing.
like 2 stories where he's been an asshole, just being his like pretentious self.
But is it him being like that?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, is he just fucking with someone and they don't understand that?
But from the but the stories is just like a fan that goes up to him and he's like, I don't have time for you, and just being an asshole. Like, and it's only been like 2 stories that I've heard, and this is also like online.
But you also have to consider, like, he gets approached every fucking day wherever he goes, and sometimes he's gonna have a bad day.
True.
That is a thing where like I think if the good stories outweigh, like you said, you've only had like 2, it could just
but
be
at the
like.
same time,
this
like
was
I've
just
never
shit
heard
day.
a bad thing about Hugh Jackman. Hugh Jackman is.
I've also never heard a bad thing about Keanu.
I've never heard a bad thing about Henry Cavill either.
Yeah, all
So
these
there,
people
yeah.
are like the nicest people.
Yeah.
Of
Do you
all
know?
time.
Have you seen that clip of Hugh Jackman realizing the guy who's interviewing him used to be in his like classical music class or whatever? Or was it the?
It was he was a sub or a teacher, and that was one of his students.
Yeah. Well, this was saying like,
And he was
he
interviewing
recognized- yeah.
him, and the guy interviewing didn't even realize that his teacher was Hugh Jackman.
And Hugh Jackman like was
Was
like, you were in that, yeah.
Yeah, you were
Dude,
in this class. And
it's
he was like,
such
yeah, I went to school. He was like, well, I taught you. And he goes, what? He goes, yeah, how are you doing? He's like, oh my, I didn't even realize.
Dude, no, I love celebrity shit like that.
Yeah.
I forget what it is. I don't know the person because I guess a British like footballer or whatever. But it was he was like in like a stand and his old teacher comes by, and it's just like the black dude. He has like the British hat and he like takes it off immediately. Like he's like, Mr. Kimberly, they said you were dead. He's like, said I was dead. He says, and like they starts kind of crying and shit.
Yeah,
it's so nice. It's such a good
So the whole thing is that was like one of his like only like
positive role models.
yeah, and it was like when he was in like 5th grade and something.
It's still
Or they would call it something else in Britain.
yeah, like primary school.
Fifth stage.
But
I mean, me
dude,
fifth
speaking
stage.
of, because I'd want to like cast if we did our fan cast for Berserk. Hugh Jackman would be a great person because obviously it's like a young Hugh would be really good at guts.
But what if he was Skull Knight?
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
if he was
dude.
Skull Knight, that would be really good.
Have we? I mean, besides what Cody Rhodes as your guts, has there any like?
Cody Rhodes is the perfect guts. I've come around.
Yeah,
I've seen some interviews and I'm like, he's the GOAT.
And when that one picture of him with black hair, you're like, oh my god.
Did you see his top
bit-
5 games bit? Where like people are asking his top 5 and like one of his, I forget if it's 1 or 2, but it's like Ocarina of Time.
The one that I saw, he specifically mentioned Shadow Moses. And I was like, yeah, he's guts.
In the Alaskan archipelago.
Yeah, I was like, all right, he's him.
No, he's such a chill dude. And I love that he like.
And he's big.
Yeah.
He's big.
He's fucking huge.
Well, also he's got like I just recently like went through the rabbit hole of his storyline where it's like, oh yeah, his dad, I think it wasn't his dad didn't get the weight or was the champion, but then they lost it or something or other, and he kind of came up and did it like. He lost it a couple times, but then finally got like the heavyweight champion for his like family like legacy, and I was like, that's some anime shit. I'm so down, dude.
Yeah,
I gotta
wrestling
give-
is so anime.
Give one quick shout out. Go Dodgers won the World Series.
Oh, they did.
recently.
Nice.
Yeah. The first game, which y'all were in the airport for.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I think we talked about it last week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we did. But
Yeah,
still,
it was.
Yeah,
We were
and
really
LA did go crazy. They like people burned like a public bus.
Oh fuck yeah.
Yeah. So classic LA shit. Atlanta and
Well,
like
to be fair-
Portland right now are like boarding up.
Nice.
I was like, oh, I forgot that's the thing. I was like, also I told Carmen, I was like, we're not looking at anything, we're not checking anything, we're just gonna live our lives and enjoy this.
What was
instead
the,
of being, like, getting our vibes thrown off by the rest of the rest, just
what was
a
the
select
Tennessee
few that care.
Mobs.
Yeah.
What was the Tennessee thing about they carried the goalposts?
So okay,
Oh, that was the Vandy game.
yeah,
Vanderbilt versus Ole
Auburn
Miss.
or Ole Miss? Okay,
No,
I thought it was Alabama.
it was
Alabama?
Bama. Yeah. So roll Tide.
Okay.
Roll Tide. Bama. their number 1 seed in versus the second lowest. Vanderbilt, I think at the time, is either the lowest or second lowest team in the conference.
If you're from Nashville, you know nobody gives a fuck about Vanderbilt football.
No, because Vanderbilt, apparently, I asked some buddies the other day, like, what Vanderbilt's actually known for. Apparently, their baseball team has won like 3 times in the last 5 years, or like 7 years. They're really good. Belmont is their basketball team and their women's soccer, but Vanderbilt is their baseball team. It is like incredible. One of the, like, D1. If you want to, you want to go there. Yeah, football though, you don't give a shit about.
No,
they beat them by 1 point. Tore down the goalpost, walked it 3.2 miles, 3.1 miles to the Cumberland on Broadway,
and threw it
and tossed it in the river.
And this isn't just them like walking through the streets with traffic holding a goalpost. Everyone in the city was lined down the streets, creating a path for them to get through and throw that shit in.
Yeah, there were police cars ahead of them, like, clearing the way. Like,
yeah, that's the thing that makes it so funny. Is like, this wasn't going to stop.
We know this is illegal, but it's going to be pretty
this
cool.
is happening, and we're just going to try to make sure no one gets hurt.
I mean, on one hand, it's
what
like,
am I going to do? Arrest Nashville?
Like, yeah, arrest the city. Like, yeah.
They can't get all of us.
I kind of like that there was a thing that's like, this is going to happen. Just make sure, let's minimize the casualties, make it safe.
Apparently that is something that has been done before when this has happened, but it was like no one expected it against
fucking, the number 1, like, team.
Bama, Roll Tide, I mean, so at the game, at like the press conference, the head coach was like, literally cussing on live television, like, we lost the worst fucking team in the league, and he was so pissed by his team. He was like,
meanwhile, it cuts to the Vanderbilt coach, and it's like the guy in 3rd place that's spewing the champagne.
No, it's awesome. Like, I don't really give a crap about sports, but I do love a good story.
A good underdog story always hits.
Yes,
no
I mean,
matter
have you ever seen Rudy with Sean Astin?
I haven't.
Rudy's great.
I mean, the whole thing, it's Notre Dame, and this guy who's just always been on the benches, and then, you know, the big game comes up, and they put him in, and he absolutely kills it, and then the win, and then it's like, Rudy.
It's Good Will Hunting, but sports.
Yeah. But that was Sean Astin's. Other than Lord of the Rings, that's like
his biggest thing. Yeah,
his biggest thing was Rudy. I mean, it was like, again, to like call it. Well, Jesus.
God damn.
to like sports
what
fans.
If he just threw up?
And then continued to.
That would be so fucking funny. That would be such a good TikTok.
Threw up. So in Dragon Age, just as it threw up.
No, yeah, Rudy is like, so there's like, I mean, I could, in my head, for not being a sports person, I can name a couple. So like, Rudy is like a huge sports moment.
What's
Miracle on Ice?
Yeah.
So that would be the hockey at the Olympics
Which
versus
one
Russia.
Is it Happy Gilmore? Is the no, not that one. What's the Adam Sandler one that's about?
That's Happy Gilmore.
Okay, yeah.
No,
but
it's
that's not real.
The football one, right? Longest Yard or whatever, where they're all in prison.
Yeah, that's the one. Not Happy
I don't
Gilmore.
know if that's real.
Oh, you were saying based
It's
on
a
real
movie.
shit. My fault.
Yeah, basically, like
I was
I'm
saying
talking
just like sports
stories.
movies.
Yeah,
Okay.
like Rudy's a big
Okay.
one.
You're saying based on true shit. Okay, got it.
Based on true shit. There's the
42 with
I was just about to say 42.
that movie's great. Harrison Ford. I did not realize it was him. Like for like 20 minutes of the movie, where I was like, "Holy fuck, that's fucking."
Another good sports movie that I really like is the one with Brad Pitt and who's the guy from Superbad, and
Hill?
also
Moneyball.
yeah
Moneyball? No.
Jonah Hill.
Yeah, Jonah Hill. It is Moneyball. Moneyball's really good, based off a true story about, I think it's the Oakland A's, who were doing like awful, and they were trading. And the whole thing is this one guy from another team, the main recruiter for the Oakland A's, was like, all right, we are losing. We don't have money. We have no money. How are we going to make a winning team? And this one guy who was like, it's not about like, it's about like, all it is getting on base. Because if you get one guy on base, the next guy goes to the next base, which means the next guy goes to the next base. It means the next guy makes a run. Like, get you a point. It's all about getting on base. It doesn't matter home runs at that percentage. Nope. It's
the only time a home run is really good and effective is when the bases are already loaded.
Which is what happened at the first game of the Dodgers, where Freddie Freeman, who had been
Freddie Freaker,
who
Freddie Freak
35, which is old. Last pitch of the game, hits a bases load, like second 2 outs, last pitch of the game.
Oh my gosh!
Hits a grand slam. And it's the first time that's ever happened on the in grand slam on the last pitch ever in World Series. But so Moneyball's great because he hires them and they just build this unconventional team with Chris Pratt, who was a catcher, and then they put him on first base, which he's like, I've never played a baseman before. He's like, it's okay, we're just putting you on first base. All it is, getting runs. And they swept, being like the lowest team. They didn't win the World Series, but they got to I think the last game, and so that's a great little sports story. Sports stories are fun, but sports in general, I'm not that.
It's the thing that I personally don't care about sports, but even I what was the, I forget which Super Bowl it was, but I remember going to a party and just be like, oh, whatever. But I started getting into it because the game was so close. That when one team would get a point, the other team would do the thing, and I'm constantly I do the dad thing where it's like, oh, I don't care about this movie. They just kind of stand by the door, get a little closer, finally sit down, and they're engaged. That was me.
I like the idea of just screaming for a team, let's go. But I'm also not invested at all. And for Super Bowl, it's if it 2 years ago when it was Snoop, Fitty, Eminem, Kendrick, I was. You were there. I was stand up dancing.
That was one of the best.
Let's go. Yeah.
One of the best halftime shows.
What was last year's?
Last year's
Rihanna,
was
Katy Perry, somebody or other.
Rihanna.
I don't know, because remember they had Ludacris on.
I really don't remember.
Was it Justin?
I think so.
It was Justin Timberlake.
And then Luda came on and he had the afro again, and I was like, oh my god, it's Tej.
Yeah. Then maybe the year before was Rihanna, and then the year before that
was the Snoop.
Did you fucking see the girl on TikTok that went as Suki for Halloween?
Yeah,
and she just built the S2000.
Yeah, yes.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
So the story behind that is her sister built the car for her.
Yeah, because I was following the sister doing it.
Yeah, I was following her as well.
It looked fucking awesome.
I'm actually very excited for Kendrick's Super Bowl performance this year. Do you think he plays Not Like Us?
If he does, that's the biggest flex of all time.
I mean, it might be last song, just to be like, all right, thank you, good night.
Because there's no shot he's going to say...
He's definitely going to do...
Bust it on the beat. Oh.
There's no shot he's going to say the line, certified lover boy, certified pedophile,
certified lover boy, certified...
Yeah. And the... Yeah, you hear slight crowd just.
Everybody, slight. You're gonna hear the whole fucking.
Everybody
stadium.
in the city that's not watching the Super Bowl just hears the echo of the word pedophile, and they're like, "Oh,
they're here!"
Because that's the thing.
Cover.
I wonder if he plays it and they're telling him, "Hey, you cannot say that Drake likes young women."
Nah,
and he'll be like, "Absolutely." Thing comes in, he goes, "Say Drake," staring right at the camera in front of him.
No, it's like, no.
What if he says?
Ever since NWA couldn't play "Fuck the Police,"
and they did it anyway.
They've really known that musicians are gonna play
what he could do, which I think would be just as effective, is if he did certified lover boy, certified, and then it just cuts into BBL Drizzy.
That'd be really good, actually. No, imagine he brings Sexy Red out for that shitty.
That would be amazing.
The only I'll be real with you now.
Well, I love you. You my everything.
There's only one now song. There's only one song that has her in it that I'm like cool with, and it's off the new Tyler record. There's a song "Sticky."
I'm not cool with anything she does. She's so bad.
She's a terrible musician, but the song "Sticky," which has Glorilla on it as well, is intentionally made to be
Glorilla's good though.
It's intentionally made to be like a bunch of friends at the lunch table. Like the beat is like that simple beat that people would do there, and they have 30 seconds, and they each do it. And that's the thing, in a small dose where I can easily kind of tune her out, she's great. But Glorilla was great on that line. The new Tyler
Glorilla's always good.
The new Tyler record's actually really fucking solid. Ever since he did Flower Boy, I've loved a lot of shit he's done. Igor's a great album.
Yeah, Igor is the masterpiece.
Yeah, I mean Igor's great. This new album is really good.
Just to go back to the story that I never finished.
Sorry.
There's a Steam sale going on, and it was basically just, oh, here's some weird horror games after Halloween. And I was like, okay, I'll check it out. I got Alan Wake, the Alan Wake collection, which is like the first one, and then American Dreams or whatever it's called.
Nightmare.
Yeah, that.
So I'll finish your thing. I have one thing to say about all 3 Alan Wake games.
Then they were like, you can do that, or you can get the bundle, which has Control in it for $40.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, that's a little much. Let me just get Alan Wake 1 and then the sequel thing. And then I go to the store again, and it was like, Control, $7.99.
Yeah, because you have the rest of the things.
So, but not even that, because the bundle was still $30 for that specific bundle. But I scrolled down, and there was like, if you buy Control and Disco Elysium, which have goddamn nothing to do with one another, you can get it for like a couple cents cheaper because you already have Disco Elysium.
I think it's because of the publisher Focus. I think did both or
Focus Entertainment.
Yeah, they did Control and Disco. They do a lot of shit. Like the
Hey, when is
sorry
Game Awards?
December 12th, I think.
Yeah, it's usually around.
They haven't put out the nominees yet.
Right, well,
yeah, because we need to vote.
We'll talk a bit off the pod, but like. It was one of the things with Dragon Age where I'm like, I hate that it got 9s and 10s because it does not fucking deserve them at all, and it makes me very upset that Dragon Age.
Have you seen that some of the things in the like reviewer videos say the exact same phrases?
Oh, 100%.
Which means that they're just paid.
They're paid reviews,
and that's partly why I'm like, fuck this game.
It pisses me off to no end that like that's the thing because like the reviews that I personally went out and like was like, oh, I trust this YouTuber, I trust this whatever, and they were more like generally what I think the game is like. If you like just kind of general action adventure games with good combat, then this is for you. And I was like, cool, I'm in. That was it. But like,
do you think you're gonna finish this game?
Yeah, I mean I'm close. I like.
Yeah, but did you finish Dragon's Dogma?
No, but that also doesn't have a story.
Yeah, but it also had really good combat.
The performance really fucked me. Like I couldn't like.
Deck?
Well, no, I was playing on PS5 or Xbox, and dude, like on the Series X, there were times where I was hitting 20 frames, and I was like, this sucks. I'm not finishing this until they fix that. Like I liked the game of what I played, but the performance was so bad that I couldn't stomach getting through it because like I'll be fighting an ogre and then because I fought them at the wrong place, a cart full of NPCs shows up, my frames dropped and I'm like, I can't finish this fight because I can't fucking fight. So I just stopped playing because the performance was terrible. I liked what I played. I'm sure once it gets fixed, I'll like it. But like, yeah, I couldn't do that. But I'm worried about, because again, all these journalism and people who got paid reviews, they're the ones who put all the nominations up for the Game Awards. And it upsets me that Dragon Age is going to be nominated.
Get Games for Cause?
No, it's gonna get that'd
be crazy.
That'd be really funny. But
I hope it's that one where you have to bully people after the whole point of the game is not bullying them, and like the commands are like X for trigger, B for like
Dustborn
bully. Yeah,
that game looked terrible. One reviewer that he never like, because he's like, I don't like a lot of the culture war shit. I just like to review games based on games. He goes, as a turn-based RPG, this game sucks. Like the resistance, none of that. Yeah, it was like terrible. But I'm worried that Dragon Age is gonna get nominated for shit that it doesn't deserve. And because all the people who gave it a 9 out of 10,
you think it deserves anything?
No, maybe for like, well, no, because it's, again, if you're gonna compare this game to like other action RPGs like Final Fantasy VII. No, fuck no. It doesn't deserve any of the nominations. It's like,
do you think Warhammer is an action game?
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder, because I mean they put fucking Call of Duty in the action game category. So yeah,
speaking of, I haven't been not enjoying Black Ops 6.
You haven't not been enjoying it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I've heard the zombies. So you're the first person to tell me that the zombies mode wasn't as fun.
Then I kind of had to change the pace.
Okay, because everybody,
it's big and open, which reminded me of what I saw from the Warzone zombies, which makes me want to throw up.
Yeah,
like that is not zombies. Like, I mean, like I really hold everything up to like
Black Ops 2 and 3,
World of War, the OG World of War map, like all like Nos, Kindertoten, you know, Kindertoten, like all the classic zombies maps, even Black Ops 3 with their Call of Cthulhu, that's still regarded as like one of the best refreshments to the zombies game.
That's the thing.
It is a different like story.
Anybody who talks about zombies modes, like in general Call of Duty campaigns, like obviously OG Black Ops 2 are up there, Modern Warfare 2. But like when it comes to zombies mode, it is very clear Black Ops 3 was like oh shit, I did not expect it to be this good.
So like, there's a bunch of weird things that like I'll just name off the top of my head for zombies mode. One thing is the more people you have, the more zombies that spawn. That's fine. Except for the whole thing though is now when you're at like level 20 is like you're like, all right, everyone go to a different part of the map
because I don't need to be bombarded by zombies.
So now we can like everyone has a section of zombies that's like you're able to handle. The other thing is scaling. Is your gun is viable at this level, like at this much, because you could go to Pack-a-Punch at like as early as like round 6, which is not very traditional. But then the problem is your Pack-a-Punch weapon by level 12
isn't good.
Yeah. And I'm like, I'm okay if you throw in more like of the heavy, like armored and like heavier like enemies to make it harder, and then more zombies. Like that's traditional. It's like, oh, you get like a harder zombie that's like takes more stuff to take down. But with the scaling, it makes like you're constantly having to go upgrade your weapons. And instead of like just having one weapon that like, you know, it's like now I'm worried of like I run out of ammo, not because there's more zombies, but because zombies now take more bullets. And so that's a little infuriating.
Yeah.
But the gameplay is not bad. This Omni movement is absolutely wild, and I don't think I'll ever be good at it.
Is that the new thing that Black Ops 6 kind of brought in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you can like jump and slide in any direction that you want to, and then as you're doing that, aim in any direction.
So you can be like sliding down and like shoot to the side.
Yeah, you can sprint to the left, shoot, and then turn backwards as you're like, it's insane. Like you'll see people dolphin diving and like turning around,
twisting in midair,
because they're spinning their mouse
full 180,
and then shooting.
That's kind of cool though.
Yeah, until like you just get killed by like people sliding out of a doorway. And
the whole game is played on the ground now, from what I've seen.
Yeah, so there's stuff like that. Kill streaks. I've always loved the kill streak thing. Like, so that's fun.
How did you play Did you play Cold War at all?
No,
because that was the last Black Ops game I
started
played.
up the campaign because I actually liked the campaign for the reboot of Modern Warfare.
Yeah,
that one was fun, especially how like tactical it made it felt.
Yeah,
especially the first level where you're going in and you're clearing
a house. The woman like reaches back for the gun.
Yeah, or the other one that like goes and grabs her baby, and you're like, oh, I'm not gonna shoot her. And no, that was great. So I thought like, oh, this might be they're kind of trying to harken back to that. It's just like it's just an empty campaign. Maybe they'll do the whole Black Ops, but like you're not going to get campaigns like you did in Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare Original, and Black Ops.
Black Ops 1, the campaign, like the Mason, what do the numbers mean? Like that whole thing.
Yeah, that was great, but also insane. Like the shit with Soap where you're getting on the helicopter and he shoots you in the head. Yeah. You're like, oh, what? Yeah. No. So it's like you're not going to get that.
I didn't play Modern Warfare 2's campaign, the new one. All I know about that is that for whatever reason, a large subset of like female gamers were thirsty as fuck over Soap.
Dude, I will say I wish they had just remade the original campaigns. Just like if I could play through No Russian again.
Yeah.
No Russian is
such a good mission.
Such a good mission. Oh, such a badass.
And what makes it even better is like no matter how you play it, because your character in No Russian is supposed to be an undercover, and you're like, fuck, do I shoot? Do I not? Like what? Like, and it's such a good mission for like narrative purpose, and you're like, fuck, and like because you can shoot, and I think I'm pretty sure there's an achievement for shooting but not hitting a person, so you can kind of intentionally aim away from people, so like you didn't kill anybody.
Yeah.
And like it's shit like that I'm like, fuck, dude. Old Call of Duty was like elite.
Brutal.
Like they don't like they really don't make them like they used to.
They don't.
But so you are having fun with Black Ops 6 because everybody at work has been
I will
playing
say there's like a couple of things like. There's been a couple guys in Discord, so Ezra's been into zombies, so I've been playing with him. But then one of Tyler's best friends, who I used to play Rainbow Six and Halo with,
nice.
Davis, he like all of out of nowhere through Xbox sent me a party invite, and I was like, maybe this is a misclick, but I joined, and Davis was like, "Hey man, hey, like you playing Black Ops?" And I was like, "I'll boot it up right now." Had a great time with him.
Did you see? Speaking of Halo, because obviously the Unreal Engine stuff came out that like their new studio, whatever.
The best looking Halo.
Best looking, but like they got to get that gameplay right.
I mean, have you seen the team that doesn't care about?
Yeah.
The IP of Halo.
Yeah. Well, you mean fucking 343, who is still there under Halo Studios, but yeah.
No, and no one on the team is gonna actually cares about the integrity of Halo.
No. But apparently,
no integrity.
Apparently, there's a current rumor that has been a couple leakers have said like, "Hey, this might be happening." Sledgehammer, the studio who's been notorious for, they did Call of Duty World War II. That was their Call of Duty game they did, and then they've done pretty much support for the rest of them. Might be doing a Halo game, and we don't know if it's gonna be a remake of an older one or whatever.
I know it's gonna be.
I would hope to be ODST. That's what I want.
With major Helldivers vibes.
I mean, they have
that's
to
what it's going to be.
Because apparently the
everyone was like, "This is ODST. This is anybody should be dropping down onto planets."
Because
it's the people that did it.
Original ODST was like legitimately terrifying. Of like, oh yeah, elites and like the Covenant aliens. Yeah, Master Chief's a super soldier. I'm a guy.
Yeah.
This sucks. Like fuck. I hate this. Yeah. No. If they do it, that'd be because apparently originally Helldivers might have come to Xbox to get more player base, but I guess that deal didn't go through, and so now it's for sure not coming. Where I wonder if they're like, "Hey, Sledgehammer, come here. See the Helldiver shit? Put a Halo skin on it." So who knows?
So soon I hope to get back into Call of Cthulhu. Rafe, I had a great call with him. Like 4 nights ago?
Yeah.
And he showed me some great stuff for like map building, which I'm excited for. The what was I gonna say? Oh, I don't know. But
yep, I'd be down to get back into any of them, whether it be D&D, Cyberpunk, Call of Duty. I'd be down to just play some tabletop shit.
Yeah.
Even if we don't continue like the D&D campaign we have now, I do at least want to do one with you guys. But like maybe get like Lee or someone else to DM it.
Yeah, what was so sad was the week before we left for the lake house. Lee was like, "Hey, what Ezra?" Because just me and Ezra and Lee in Discord. He said, "What are you guys doing on Saturday?" And I was like, "Well, we're gonna be in California." And Lee did not. He was like, "What do you mean we are gonna be like? We are gonna be out of town." Oh, I said we're gonna be out of town. He's like, "What do you mean we are gonna be out of town?" And I was just like, "Yep, we're not gonna be there." And he goes, "What? Where are you guys? Like both of you? What is this solo trip you guys are taking together?" And I was like, "We're gonna be in California." He was like, "Oh," and he's like, that makes me sad because I was trying to get back into DMing and I was wanting to know if Luke and BJ wanted to come over to do a campaign, and I was like, "Buddy, please invite us another weekend."
I will happily do it.
Please.
He's never gonna say anything about it ever again.
Yeah, and I was like, we really did miss our opportunity, because if it was any other weekend, I would have been like, yes, I'll make sure that they're there. Like, I'm just like, Art, put us down. We'll make it happen.
If we do that, make sure again, if you talk to Lee again, make sure it's like ahead of time, because I usually have to ask off by a certain whatever.
For sure. But I was just like, Lee, I'm so sorry. Like the one opportunity, he was like, I wanted to get back in DMing, and I thought it'd be really fun to do it with you guys, especially since,
I mean, I'll shoot him a text, just be like, "Yo, if you're ever down in DM, I'd be down to."
Yeah, just keep reminding him. So,
y'all excited for these tattoos we're getting in a couple weeks?
Yeah, I just gotta figure out the font. I think I'm excited about mine. I like that it's.
Are you gonna do them on the legs?
I like that it's from something, but it's good alone.
Yeah. Are you getting the legs?
I just got to figure out a font that I like because I'm just me with my graphic design. Like I have to.
It has to be perfect.
It has to be a good.
The Doom font would be pretty sweet.
What?
The Doom font.
I like with the like the book ones or the ones from the movies,
like the ones that are on the covers of the games.
Oh,
I want to do it in more. Remember, like old like medieval scrolls where the first letter is
always
like
that crazy shit.
It's crazy, and then in like the normal like, that's how I want to do it.
I was gonna say,
but I would have it be on each leg that it would be, weak and endure are both in the capitals with it. So
I was gonna
not
say,
the first letter like normal medieval stuff where it's the first letter that's always, but deeds and endure are in.
I was gonna say you could.
Weak and endure.
This is another idea, but you know, like how they always get the thing on their pauldron, or like the thing where you get it like that with the scroll and the seal and like have it be down. Yeah, and you could do an oath.
Yeah, but the oath is like the skull usually.
Yeah,
and I was like, not like if I was gonna get a skull, I've always thought that I'd want it to be like a skeleton that's like has a cowboy hat and smoking a cigarette.
Hell yeah,
like something like that. Than just a skull, a random skull, and that's why I wanted it to be just. So I just gotta figure out stuff. I'll just mess around for like an hour in Illustrator and get fonts because I already started doing that, but.
And there's a couple tattoos that I've been getting the Buster Sword this next weekend.
On the other shoulder?
No, this is gonna be right here on the collarbone going down. It's like against the grain, like going like under the collarbone a little bit, going downward.
Okay.
But that's where I want to get there. I want to get like because there's things where I'm like I think I'm gonna get those. One is the curse mark from Naruto, but like mostly coming out of my shoulder. I want it the same spot, and then I want to do something Skyrim related. I just don't know what yet. But I have an idea of all the dwarven automatons they have underneath a lot of the things. Do something like that, but like the ripped skin thing, but have like my bones in that dwarven gold metal thing. And I've thought about that where I'm like, that'd be really kind of cool.
Yeah.
But I
did like the Ouroboros design.
The
I just hope that they can do the placement that I want.
Are you doing it on the stomach?
Yeah, like around my.
Why wouldn't they be able to?
I don't know.
It's not in your butthole.
Yeah, like they're not sitting there go, yo, I want this thing to wrap around my penis. I will see.
There's like I was watching a TikTok of some tattoo artist that was like, have you tattooed somebody on their genitals? And he's like, it took me a while before doing it, like doing one, but then the old adage seems to be true is no plus money equals yes as a tattoo artist.
Yeah, that's true.
Can you tattoo my dick? No. I'll give you $500 extra.
Okay.
You son of a bitch.
Sit down.
Yeah,
Sit down.
It becomes an immediate. All right, like they get the needle out. They're ready.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm excited to watch V for Vendetta.
Yeah, we're gonna make butter chicken tonight.
Let's fucking go, dude. The classic.
Yeah.
I still one of these days want to request onigiri or whatever because y'all had them one day that I was not here for, and
I just gotta find a good filling because the Spam was good.
I mean, tuna mayo would be good.
You just need to make barbecue chicken slather and bachans.
That could work too.
I'm down for whatever fillings. So
maybe
we could
like
do like tuna
a
mayo.
little medley.
Just a bunch of different fillings for different things. Yeah.
Yeah. Do some Spam, maybe some
chicken salad,
spicy tuna.
Yeah,
and do some barbecue something or other. Yeah.
All right. Well,
big shout out, Dubby. Go to the website, w.gg. Use code TakeItSleazy. Get 10% off any of their shakers or tubs or whatever have you. Anything on there. Maybe they got some new key. I haven't actually checked their merch side of things, but I know they had, what was it? Was it Grandma's Ashes or something? Grandpa's Ashes, the new flavor. Mm-hmm. So yeah, go check them out.
Like and subscribe. We have been getting more comments on both Spotify. Thanks, Karis.
Yeah. Honestly, just leave comments, even if it's something to say, hey, good job, or tell.
Yeah, somebody listened to the whole freaking episode.
Yeah, say or call me a bitch because I'm enjoying Dragon Age. I don't care. Mm-hmm. Just give us comments, engage with us, say something.
And as always,
take it sleazy.